Ever felt the presence of something unexplainable? Stay tuned to uncover chilling tales from others who have. The snow was falling in thick, soft flakes that seemed to muffle the world around me. I had returned to my childhood town for Christmas, hoping to escape the emptiness of my home. It was my first holiday season without Dad, and every decoration, every carol felt like a painful echo of what was missing. I wasn't even sure why I wandered to the park that evening. Something about the snow made me restless, pulling me toward the place where Dad and I had spent so many winter afternoons. It was quiet, just the soft crunch of my boots on the snow and the occasional creak of bare tree branches swaying in the cold wind. I made my way to the hill where we used to go sledding, our laughter echoing through the frosty air. I sat on an old wooden bench near the slope, the same bench where Dad would sit with his thermos of hot cocoa, cheering me on. I hadn't been here in years, but it all looked the same, as if frozen in time. My breath formed pale clouds in the frigid air as I stared down at the hill, the snow untouched, gleaming under the dim glow of the street lamps. That's when I heard it. Footsteps, crunching softly behind me. I turned sharply, my heart pounding. But the park was empty, just shadows dancing in the pale light. A shiver ran through me, not from the cold, but from something deeper, something I couldn't explain. I told myself it was probably just the sound of snow shifting under its own weight, or maybe an animal. But as I turned back, the lamp-post nearest to me flickered. The light dimmed, then glowed brighter, casting long shadows across the snow. Out of the corner of my eye I noticed movement, a figure standing at the top of the hill. My breath caught. It wasn't just anyone. He was wearing Dad's coat, the heavy, olive-green parka I had begged him to replace for years. I stood up slowly, my legs trembling. "Dad?" I whispered, the word escaping me like a breath I hadn't realized I was holding. The figure didn't move, but there was something so achingly familiar about the way he stood, hands in his pockets, shoulders slightly hunched. My rational mind fought against what I was seeing. It couldn't be him. It wasn't possible. But my heart didn't care. I took a cautious step forward, then another. The air around me felt heavier, yet warmer, like being wrapped in a blanket by a fire. As I drew closer, the figure turned slightly, and I saw his face, or at least what should have been his face. Instead, there was a soft, glowing warmth, as though light were shining through frosted glass. It wasn't frightening. It was comforting, familiar. Tears blurred my vision as I whispered again, "Dad, is it really you?" The figure nodded once, a slow, deliberate movement. And then he raised a hand, not to wave, but to point. I followed his gesture to the top of the hill, where a sled sat, waiting. The sled was just like the one we used to ride together. A wave of memories washed over me, his laughter, his voice shouting encouragement as I raced down the hill, his arms catching me at the bottom. My chest tightened with longing. When I turned back to him, he was closer. I hadn't seen him move, but there he was, just a few feet away. He reached out a hand, and I hesitated for only a moment before taking it. His grip was warm, solid, real. As soon as our hands met, I felt a rush of emotions, not just my own, but his too. Pride, love, comfort. They flooded through me, filling the empty space his absence had left. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. I understood him as clearly as if he'd whispered the words, "I'm still here." I followed him to the sled, my legs trembling but my heart strangely steady. He gestured for me to sit, just like he used to, and when I did, the sled began to move, not down the hill, but through the memories I thought I'd lost. I could see us again, laughing, falling in the snow, his arms wrapping around me to keep me warm. The ride ended too soon. When I stepped off the sled, the park was quiet again. He was gone. But something told me to look back at the bench. There, half buried in the snow, was a photograph. It was us, sitting on that very bench, smiling as if nothing in the world could ever go wrong. On the back, in his handwriting, were the words, "I'm proud of you." I never told anyone what happened that night. Maybe they wouldn't believe me. But I know what I saw. I know what I felt. And every time it snows, I feel it again. That warmth, that love, reminding me that some connections can never be broken. During the Victorian era, it was believed that loved ones who passed away during the winter solstice could revisit places they cherished the most to bring comfort to their grieving families. Some say the snow carries their whispers, a gentle reminder that they're never truly gone.
If this chilling tale gave you goosebumps, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories like this. Thank you for tuning in to Ghostly Echoes. Until next time,